Hi everyone. We're going to go over how to do one-way repeated measures ANOVA or within subjects in SPSS and how we would go about writing the results in APA format. So before we begin, just as a reminder, for repeated measures, that means you are using the same group for every time you test them. So if I am running maybe I am testing a therapy program and I want to see how individuals are doing every 6 months, and then I want to compare those times that I tested them to see if there's any improvement. And so the independent variable would be the times people are tested in this example. It would be considered a categorical variable, or meaning like a nominal or ordinal variable. And for an ANOVA, you must have at least three groups or more, or 3 times or more. And, and the dependent variable must be a continuous variable. So let's begin and see how we're going to measure these times. So we're going to look at the averages, the means for this group. This is data from individuals that were receiving cognitive therapy who had eating disorders. And so they were being asked questions at different points in time about, their weight, fasting, whether they would binge, purge, and so on. And they were asked these questions at 4 different points in time. So we're going to go ahead and select Analyze, and then find General Linear Model and Repeated Measures. So for our factor, we will have 4 levels because they were tested at 4 different times. So we'll add that. And now we want to define it. So we're going to see about the weights. We're going to test to see if their weight improved over the 4 different times they were tested. So we'll go ahead and find weight 1 and put it over, and we'll look for weight 2. Here's weight 2. And weight 3. And weight 4. That should do it. So when we're doing repeated measures, you would not use a post hoc. That would be, for between subjects, if we were also adding a between subjects factor. In this case, we're not. But you might want to click on Options, select Descriptives, Estimates of Effect Size, and Homogeneity Tests, and click Continue. And then simply select OK. Okay, so our output here, you can see the 4 different times that individuals were tested for their weight. And in the descriptive box, we can see the number of participants. There were 53, and we can see their means and the standard deviations. And now we can see tests for, this is effect size, and in ANOVA it's a partial eta square that is used in SPSS. So that is telling us how strong the relationship is between the times that they were tested for weight, and that's a fairly moderate outcome, 0.57 or so. And then we're looking for a sphericity. We do not want to see a significant score here, and it is not, so that's good. And now we have the test for within subjects, and since sphericity is assumed, we're going to look at the top line to see if there's significance, and since it is less than 0.05, we can say yes, it was significant. So that's great. Now, to report these outcomes in SPSS, or in APA format, let's go to our, it would be in this fashion or something like it. And here we said, a repeated measures ANOVA showed that for the 53 subjects receiving cognitive therapy, the difference in body weight between the first time point, and we give the mean for the first time point, as you can see here, 1.64, and then the standard deviation as well, 0.98, and then we do the same for all the means and standard deviations for all 4 times the weight was taken. And then we say that these 4 times were statistically significant, and we put the F statistic there with the group's degrees of freedom as well as the sample size degree of freedom. And in this case, since we had 4 groups, that would be n minus 1, which is 4 minus 1, so 3 would be the group degree of freedom. And we had 53 subjects in a repeated measure, so that would be 53 minus 1, so we have 52 for the degrees of freedom for the sample. And then we give the F statistic, 22.02, and that can be found right here. Right here. And then the p-value equaled 0.005. Let's see here. Actually, it should say 1. Sorry about that. So it actually should say 0.001. And the partial eta was 0.57. Let's make sure. Yes. That's partial eta squared. We'll take this. Here's the effect size, 0.57. Right. And that's how you would write it in APA format. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.